What's up, everyone, and welcome to another weekly Star Wars news roundup. We had fun doing that last week, so we're going to do it again. And we're just going to dive right in. We got 4 stories today, and our first one is from The Hollywood Reporter. I'm sure people have heard about this already, but they are saying that Disney Plus series are going to start premiering on Wednesdays, like Loki. Sources say the shift is designed to accommodate the increased volume of original content on Disney Plus. The Wednesday schedule is strictly for original series, meaning The Mandalorian and other Star Wars and Marvel TV series. Original movies will continue to come out on Fridays on Disney Plus. So they're saying that this is from like Loki being the most watched premiere so far, but I think it's more likely a business decision of, separating movies from series.
Right. Yeah, I think Disney knows that cities are opening back up. People are going out again. Movie theaters are opening. People are going to the movies. They probably want people to associate Fridays with going to the movies, or at least watching a film. And they're going to start trying to get people to watch the shows in the middle of the week and then watch the movies at the end of the week. So
yeah, I totally agree. I will say that like my initial reaction was disappointment. Like a lot of people, I just got used to having new Star Wars stuff or new Marvel stuff on Friday. Like you just wake up and watch it and it's fun and then you talk about it all day. But I think most people's first reaction to any kind of change is to be grumpy. That's how I was. But I'm like, I've accepted it. Wednesdays it is now.
Yeah.
It'll still be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Although I do wonder if eventually we're going to have like more content. Like, are we going to have a Marvel and a Star Wars show come out on the same day? Or when we hit that point, are they going to spread it out again? Because we all kind of thought that was the intent with Loki. It's like, we already have the Bad Batch, so let's test Loki out on a Wednesday. And that worked great. So I do wonder if eventually they'll test things out on a Monday or a Thursday or whatever.
Yeah, I don't see them having a big Marvel show and a Star Wars show come out on the same day, just because like then it would be competing for each other on like social media and all that.
Yeah, and I do think a lot of this is about like those hashtags and getting things to trend and just dominating the conversation online. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see when that inevitably happens. But let's move to the next story, which is about, I guess, the first Star Wars series that will come out on a Wednesday. Star Wars Visions. Last week, Anime Expo announced Lucasfilm will bring a galaxy far, far away to Anime Expo Light this July with the panel Star Wars Visions Sneak Preview. We'll be getting an inside look at Star Wars Visions before the series debuts on Disney Plus later this year. That's set July 3rd, 3 p.m. Pacific, and it's just a 30-minute long panel. So,
yeah.
Thoughts?
I'm excited to see literally anything for any of the new projects coming out. They didn't say for sure that we're going to get like a trailer or anything, but I do hope we see some footage of what this show is going to look like. Maybe get like a general outline of where the stories are going to be coming from for these episodes. And yeah, just a general look at some of the different art styles that will be showcased.
I'm trying to temper my expectations, but I am thinking we'll see a trailer and a release date. I think that it's time to announce the release date. And even if it's not a full-on, like, I don't think they need a trailer in the sense of they need to show us what the story is, because it's an anthology series and all 10 episodes are going to be different. So I just want a look of some moving pictures and of the different styles, just cool things happening. And
it could be kind of like what we got when they released the High Republic information, just to look at the creators working together, storyboards, things like that, especially because this is going to be like animated or hand-drawn content.
Yeah, agreed. And it's 10 episodes total. I'm going to just throw out a guess that it's going to come out in late September, early October, because that will put it pretty much right in the middle of the end of the Bad Batch and the beginning of the Book of Boba Fett, which they said comes out holiday 2021, so late December. So yeah, my guess is that this is going to start dropping in the fall, and then that'll take us to almost the Book of Boba Fett, and we'll probably have a couple weeks buffer on either side to recover from each series.
Yeah.
Next up is some movie news, and it's still related to Disney Plus and Loki, because Michael Waldron, who wrote Loki and wrote, or I think he was the head writer on Loki, I'm not sure, but he also wrote the upcoming second Doctor Strange movie. He confirmed that he is working on Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie. Up until now, that was a rumor, but he confirmed it. He says, it's very early days on Star Wars. That's probably the thing I can say the least about. And then when asked how working on Loki and Doctor Strange 2 has prepared him for Star Wars, he says pretty much nothing while saying a whole lot. He said, I think the success of the MCU is, for all the amazing science fiction and concepts and all that stuff, ultimately the success is built upon the characters, their humanity, their very relatable conflicts, friendships, and the family that is the MCU. And I think Star Wars at its best is a story about family. Han, Luke, and Leia were a family. You love seeing them together and you hated it when they were split apart. It's great characters. That's nothing new. I'm not going to blow anyone's mind with that headline, but that's my biggest takeaway. I love that he said that he's like, I didn't really say anything. It's like everyone knows Star Wars is about family.
Right. The only thing you could kind of take away from what he said is that they're in such early stages that they're really trying to nail down the characters in the movie and like maybe getting a good backstory, getting a good outline.
You know, I hadn't considered that, but I think that you are right. He talked about characters so much. That's probably what was on his mind when they asked him the question, because that's all like he's focused on is who is the story about? What do they each want? I think you're probably right.
Yep.
But it's just good to hear some news on these movie projects. There's so many Star Wars projects that we know are happening, and we just haven't heard that much about them. And the Feige movie is one of them. So yeah, just getting an update. And so far, we've really been enjoying Loki. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah, unless something happens in Loki to just like really piss everyone off, I think this is great. Great news.
I'm happy. So our final story isn't really a story, it's a rumor, but I did want to talk about it. The Illuminati says, according to our sources, Star Wars Ahsoka is looking to cast Barriss Offee. She is listed as a lead character in her 20s to 30s, and they're looking to cast an Asian woman for the role. File this under complete rumor. I don't really know much about the Illuminati, but doesn't that sound more like Sabine than anything?
Well, yeah. Especially with the age.
Yeah, it's the age that's really...
It seems a little young to be Barriss. I don't know a lot about that species and how they age. That could be a factor. Sure. But yeah, I'd be perfectly fine if Barriss was in this. I think. What do you think?
Well, yeah, you're right. Like, she's a Mary Allen. She should be 45, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she ages like a human does. So
they might just be looking for an actress and from 20s to 30s.
Right. I think that's a fair point. But still, I think Sabine just makes more sense for this series. Like, I'm fine with Barriss being in it, I guess, but it makes more sense for me to see her show up in the Bad Batch. Just, I don't know why she would all of a sudden appear 30 years later. And maybe she'll appear in both, I don't know. But I'm like, if she just popped up in the Ahsoka series, I'd be like, where have you been? And I'm sure they would tell us, but...
Yeah, I mean, they do have an interesting history, and Filoni has said before that he does have a plan for Barriss. It's been a while since he said that. Who knows if that is still the case. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and find out.
I certainly agree that if Barriss comes back, like, I want to see her interact with Ahsoka. And, you know, just check in on Barriss and be like, you happy with what you did? Are you still messing with the dark side? Where do you stand right now? I think she's a really interesting character I want to explore more of. But I don't know, like, rumors, I wanted to talk about it because I saw it being passed around a lot on social media, but I'm not taking this one like at face value, I'm not expecting this to happen. At least not right now.
Yeah. Either way, Barriss or Sabine, I think it would be cool to see either of them. But you're right. I think Sabine would make a little more sense if Ahsoka is looking for Thrawn and Ezra. And yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. But those are the major stories from last week, so let us know what you think of all of them down in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.